Good day, everybody. Welcome to this series of impromptu flights. Hello, Scott. Thanks for dropping in. Kevin, I'm not exactly sure. But again, it doesn't do it when I'm zoomed in. It only does it when I'm at a little bit of further distance away. And it happens on the two different aircraft. So no setting changes. It happened after Sim Update 10 update. Again, I don't know. Anyway, we're here at Fort Lauderdale Airport. We're going to do some flights with our code share airline in the U.S., MetroAir. And we've got 3 flights coming up today. We're going to fly this first one from here down to Cancun. We're going to take roughly a 2-hour break between flights, and then we're going to be flying the return trip out of Cancun back to Fort Lauderdale, our little southern base here. And then after another short little 2-hour break, we're going to fly down to Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic. For the first 2 flights, we're also going to be checking out Macco Sim's Cancun Airport. So it'll be interesting to see what that looks like when we get there. And we are on the, this is third-party payware Fort Lauderdale. I just don't remember whose it is. Yeah, they've definitely made some updates and changes, so it's just figuring out what they've done now. So anyway, let's get on board. I did an offline test flight of the updated FENIX A320 the other day, and I had a weird landing. So part of the reason I'm using the aircraft for this is I want to see if I get those landing issues again this time. Got a bit squirrely, and I couldn't figure out why. So let's hop on board, and we'll get the aircraft ready to go. Oh, I thought I sent you something just to let you know I was flying. I got 2 more flights today, Scott, if you want to join in. So there's 3 total. My plans fell apart, so we are spending the day flying. All right, cockpit preparations are done. Parking brake is set. GPU is connected. Auxiliary power is on. Batteries 1 and 2 are coming on. Let's get the lights dialed up a little bit higher. So we can see everything. We'll get our panel lights here up. For myself, Roger, and then we'll get the center ones up. Sure all our integrals are dialed in as well. Alright, so I think we are good. Yeah. Well, like I said, there's a couple more. Leg 2 is Cancun to back to Fort Lauderdale. All right, let's get the rest of the checks done and underway. So, ADIRS coming on. EVAC system is Captain Purser. Signs are, let's get that one first on. Lights are system 1, crew oxygen supply is coming on. Generators 1 and 2 are on and on fault. Cockpit cabin heat. Well, we are down in Florida and Mexico, so we'll tune that down a little bit. Correct. For the second flight. Packs are on and in fault. Warnings, APU. Engine 1. Engine 2. Emergency lights are now armed. Icing indicator and standby switches on, and cargo heat not required. All right, let's start getting everybody on board. So we're gonna go in here over. load up our flight plan. There we go. And our departure time, I've got a 15:15 departure, so that is good. Eastbirds, how you doing? Good to see you, sir. All right, we'll come over here. Everything is hooked up. We are good there, and over to our mass and balance. 155 passengers on today's flight. And let's see, we got 5,310 pounds of cargo, 15,407 pounds of fuel, so we can get the aircraft loading. Always something I forget to set up. It does become a little bit of a pain at times. There we go. Passengers are now starting to board. So let's get over here. See if we got, I'll show something I want. See if we got our message in. And not yet. So we can start setting up our flight plan. Windows says no, yeah. It's that FSU IPC needed to run PAX. No, let's forget to start that. Alright, so KFLL to MMUN, that's Fort Lauderdale to Cancun. Our alternate is MD, I don't know where that is, somewhere in Mexico. Flight number today is MET 613, that's MetroAir 613, call sign Metro. Cost index of 25. Our altitude today, flight level 380, and the tropo is 52,640, and we'll grab our winds. So today will be a good test of the new updated FENIX. So we've got our climb winds, next phase, and our descent winds are all entered in, so that is good, and we're good there. So we can go to our flight plan. So we're going to be leaving on runway 10 left. So the current winds, let me get the METAR for you guys. VFR, which is nice. A little bit of cloud, but it's not too bad. Winds are calm. A few cloud at 3,000, broken at 11,000. 31 degrees. Ooh, it's hot. 299 6. So we're taking off on runway 10 left. We're going off on the Glades to departure. And we're going to Lulas. So we'll insert that. Try the sounds from the cabin on taxi. Oh, okay. So in Cancun, we will be arriving on the RNAV for runway 30 left. And just to check the winds down in Cancun. Yeah, 350. Where is it? RNAV 30 left. And when we are using the NOSAD 1 Delta arrival. And we will insert that. If we zip down, that's our departure. We're actually going to clear out that discontinuity. Well, let's try that again. We're going to clear out that discontinuity. We're going to clear out that manual. Yeah, we should be going YOLO, then LRIC, and then to Gator and retag. So we should now be able to clear out that, and we'll insert. Let's go back to the beginning. And so we're going elbow room, YOLO, Lyric, Gator, Rutledge, Glades, Winona, Lulis. Or Wigger, Lulis, and then off we go. That is fine. I'm going to come down into the arrival. We'll look at the arrival when we get there. We're going in through NOSAT, Hot Show with all our restrictions, lettuce, UD5, Prureg, Hostel, and then we will be going to should be 6 Hostel, then 604 UN 604. So I'm gonna go after Hostel. It'll be UN 604 as the next waypoint, and UN 604. Hey, Nerdbark, over on Twitch. Hello, how are you? And we will insert that. Track miles are good. We are going to put in a restriction. It is 2,000 feet. And it is descending to 2,000 feet. We will insert that. And then we will clear out that discontinuity. So we go Hostel, then 604, and 630, 631. So that is all now reading perfectly fine. So our flight plan is done. Let's head over here. Everything is loading. I'm going to resend the load sheet. There we go. So our initial load sheet is here. So our zero fuel weight is, we'll accept that, is 129,530. So if we come back over here, 129.5, and our initial center of gravity is 30.6. And our block fuel for today's flight, of course we're in the US, so we're operating in pounds. Our block fuel for today is 15.4. Alright, saying our cruise level is above maximum. 3738. We'll be fine. We'll climb it up there. We got no ATC on at the moment at Florida. We'll see if that changes. All right. So everything is loading in. Passengers are all getting on board. So altimeter, as we saw, 2996. We'll set that up. Unfortunately, they don't have the synced barometers in for this airline, so This is airline specific. Eastbirds, question for you. Don't know if you've noticed. I am now seeing when things like the speed and stuff change in the dials. I don't know if this will show. If I do this, it's nice and clear on the display. But if I zoom out a little bit more, so I don't know if you can see down here on the tape how the numbers are blurring. But if I zoom in, they're moving fine. So Kevin said it might have been motion blur turned on. I checked and it's not. So I'm not exactly sure what new settings might be causing that, because that is Sim Update 10 that did it. So just wondering if you happen to know. I'm going to set 38,000 in as our takeoff. We have restrictions. We'll go over the briefing. So FMC is set up. MCDU is set. Clearance, we'll take our clearance as given. We're going to squawk 2,000. Altimeter's transponder is set. PWS now comes on. GCS is on. Fueling complete? Fueling is complete. Baggage is complete. We're about halfway through on the passengers. So let's get the rest of our stuff set up here. We'll go into Navigraph and we can look at what we're doing for our flight. You think it's the driver? Okay. I'll wait for the driver update. We'll see what happens. Nerd Bark, it is morning for me. It's almost 11 o'clock. So a nice morning flight here. All right, so let's see where we are. So we are here. We are at gate Echo 7, located right here at Fort Lauderdale Airport. We're going to be pushing back onto Charlie, facing west. We're going to taxi down to 10 left and then be taking off.
Once all your items are put away, please
so we'll be taxiing all the way down on Charlie, come up. We're going to be departing and then making a left-hand turn out to clear the airport area. And our departure is on the Gators to RNAV departure. That's going to take us on a left-hand turn up over the airfield north of Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport. And then we're going to, after Elric, we're going to be flying down this way towards Gator. We're going to maintain 5,000 feet to stay below arriving traffic into Miami International. Once at Gator, we're going to go to Rutledge, Glades, Wigna, and then Lullis as we begin our climb out as we head towards the west coast of Florida. That is going to take us to our route. So when we leave the west coast of Florida, we're going to be flying out towards Key West. I think Key West is the VOR is one of our points. And then we're going to head southwest past the north shore of Cuba down towards Cancun. Coming into Cancun, we will be doing the which one are we doing? It is the NOSAD 1 Delta arrival, or no, the NOSAT 1 Delta. So we're coming in at NOSAT. So arrival. So we're going to come in at NOSAT, down to Hatcho, Lettuce, down to UN 500. Then we go to Pereg. That's a hold point if we need it. We have another one at Lettuce. down to Austell. We should be at 3,000 feet. Well, we will be at 3,000 feet at Austell. We're then going to pick up our turn for our RNAV. So that's our initial approach fix. After that, we'll be making the turn so that we pick up the RNP for runway 30 left. So from Austell, we'll make a right turn down to 604. That's the one I was programming in. That'll take us down to 2,000 feet. We're then going to fly in towards 630, and again 2,000 foot mandatory altitude. And then at UN 631, we will begin our 3-degree down. And we should have a nice visual approach anyway, so it shouldn't be too bad as we come into land. And of course, once we're here on the airport, we're going to be landing. It's 11,000 feet. We'll probably get off somewhere down around here, maybe Charlie 7. We're not going to make C4 as the high speed. We might get Charlie 6 if we can make that tight turn. We're then going to head into the Terminal 2 here. And we will be parking at Terminal 2, one of the gates here around Terminal 2. It'll be interesting to see. This is my first time going into Macco's Macco Simulations Cancun, so it'll be good to see. And that's where we're going to go for our parking. Let's go back to our ground chart for now. And we can do a preliminary performance check to see how things are looking. So we are at Fort Lauderdale. It is runway 10 left we're using. Surface is dry. Flaps will be 1+F. We're not going to force a toga. Anti-ice will be off. Packs will be on. We're loading our preliminary numbers in, and we will bring in the weather. Hope for a bit of a crosswind. We'll see. We might get it when we get there. And we can do a quick calculation. Runway length is 9,000 feet. Let's see what it's going to give us. So V speeds of V1 141, VR 141, V2 144. Transition altitude 18,000 feet here in North America. Flex temp to 60 degrees. All right. So we are good for a nice toga takeoff, or a flex takeoff. Just waiting on the boarding. Come back over, see how we're doing, get an update from the ramp agents. Well, we're getting closer, only about 30 people left to go. So if you want to join me, like I said, I got 2 more flights coming up today. There'll be about a 2-hour break after each one. Just allow me to reset and stretch the legs. And the second flight will be flying back from Cancun to Fort Lauderdale. And then 2 hours after that, we are going to do a flight from Fort Lauderdale down to Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic. So I hope you can join us for those as well. Do a quick check on ATC. Still no ATC. Hi, Brian. And good day to you. So we're kind of ATC free. There's a lot of traffic going in and out of Miami and Fort Lauderdale at the moment. Miami's a lot busier, obviously, but we do have traffic. We have traffic out at Tampa. A little bit up in Orlando. So there is some traffic in the area, but just no ATC at the moment. pop out and take a look at the airport quickly. Oh, really? What? Weather interesting? So this is the payware Fort Lauderdale. Very nice. All the markings. Oh, the weather, yeah. Oh, with the storm coming in, yeah, that'd be interesting. So you can see the E terminal here, or the E gates, nicely done with the terminal. A little bit of static traffic kicking around. That's the taxiway we'll be taking down to the runway. There's the tower. So it looks pretty good here. Nice parking lot. And having been to Fort Lauderdale Airport, I can attest, yes, this is pretty much the way it looks. Now I did a check. The load time in PAX and the load time in FENIX, if you're doing them in real time, are pretty close. So they'll load within a minute of each other when I do this. Have the PAX running and have the loading going on here. With the PMDG 737, not so much. I think the aircraft finishes in half the time that the PAX does. I'm not sure why the big difference, but there it is. We're on schedule. I mean, we have a 15:15 departure, and it's only 14:54 now, so we still got 20 minutes, but we're almost done. Detracts 1 hectopascal and adds 1 degree Celsius. Yeah, that would give you a buffer. You can't go wrong with adding a little bit of performance for a takeoff and stuff. You don't want to go the other way, that's for sure. Alright, so let's get this back to 9.6 where it should be. Almost there. Last of the passengers are coming. Hey, Dark. Alright. So we're going to get the APU up and going. So while we're waiting, I'll speed things up a little bit.
We're on your time now.
Oh, looks like everybody's on board.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard Flight 6.
So we're waiting on the
Our
APU.
flight time will be roughly 1 hour and 17 minutes. Now that the cabin door is closed, please make sure that all devices are in airplane mode and your large devices are now shut down and stowed.
Alright.
Please fasten your seatbelt and make sure that all
APU is
safety
available.
and seat backs are in a full upright and locked
APU
position for
bleeds
departure.
are now
Cabin
on.
crew, prepare cabin for departure.
External power is now disconnected. Takeoff data we will now do. Since we have the final information and load sheet, so we'll put in our final information. Now, final information, we'll resync our load sheet, calculate And there is our final calculation. So we'll come down here so we can see it. And we'll enter in our performance. So we have a V1 of 140. We have a VR of 140. We have a V2 of 143. It is a flaps 1 with neutral trim, and we are flexing to 61 degrees. Alright, we'll go back over here. We will have them resend the final load sheet, and we'll get them to pull the chocks and the GPU. So over to the final load sheet. So zero fuel weight of 129.7. We're going to accept that. So if we come over to our initialization, so we can change, do the final update 1297, and our center of gravity 29.5. That is now entered in, and that is all set up. And we go over to the flight plan. And we are all good there. So the FDU is set, takeoff data is set, departure briefing is briefed and checked. We've gone through that. Flight directors are both on radios. 122.8 is set and on. So we are ready for our push. So let's get our push set up. We're using Pushback Express. See where our indicator is, not far enough. It's not bad. And there we go. So we are ready to go there. Darkwing Duck is very old. I have vague memories and recollections of it. All right, let's get the tug in here.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead, flight tech.
We will be ready shortly.
Roger.
All right, so beacon light is coming on. Fuel pumps are coming online. Everything else is on and good. Do we have a tug? Yeah, we have a tug. I'll go into the cabin and we can listen to it there. And tug should be connected. Fort Lauderdale area traffic. Metro 613, gate E7, push and start facing west on Charlie.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead, flight tech.
We are ready for pushback and engine start.
Roger. Release the parking brakes, please.
Parking brakes released.
Pushing back. You are clear behind, and you can start your engines at your discretion.
Starting engine number 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the front of the aircraft for a safety demonstration. When the seatbelt light is on, please make sure that your seatbelt is fastened low and tight across your lap. To fasten, insert the metal fittings into one another. Tighten by pulling on the loose end of the strap. To release your seatbelt, lift the upper portion of the buckle. In the event that the seatbelt light is not on, we
Thanks for
suggest
dropping by.
that you keep your seatbelt fastened in case of unexpected turbulence. Please take a few moments to now locate one of the several emergency exits on this aircraft.
Yeah, that engine sound is
Some cases,
different.
Your nearest exit may be behind you. In case of an emergency and we need to evacuate the aircraft, there is lighting on the floor that will guide you towards the exit. In the event of a loss of cabin pressure, an oxygen mask will drop in front of you. Start the flow of oxygen, pull the mask towards you, and place it firmly over your nose and mouth. Secure the elastic band behind your head and tighten the straps if necessary. And don't worry if the bag doesn't inflate, oxygen is flowing to the mask and you can breathe normally. If you're traveling with
Alright,
children,
looks like we
now's
got
the time to
a
pick your favorite
good
one.
start.
But secure your mask and then assist others. Keep your mask on until a member of the crew advises you it's safe to
And
remove
let's
it.
start
In the unlikely event of a
engine
water
1 and jump
a life
outside.
vest is located in a pouch under your seat or
Pushback complete. Set parking brakes, please.
Gonna have to set the brakes. Give me a sec.
inflate automatically.
There we
Parking
go.
brake set.
Roger. Okay, the tow bar is disconnected and the equipment is clear.
Thanks, and you can disconnect and go to hand signals.
Thanks. Have a good flight. See you later.
Yeah, somebody sent me a thing. They're in the Philippines, and apparently they've got Christmas decorations up already. Yeah, it sounds pretty cool. Liking the new sounds. Alright, we are stable on the second engine. So generators 1 and 2 are on. Ignition mode selector back to normal. Probe heat is on auto. Wing and engine anti-ice not required. Packs 1 and 2 are on. Flaps set 1 plus F. Trim set to 0. Flight controls full left, full right, neutral, full forward, full back, neutral, full left rudder, full right rudder. Neutral. APU bleed is off. APU is off. FCP is set. Engine instruments are checked. We are good for taxi. Taxi light on and auto brakes set to max. Fort Lauderdale traffic. Metro 613 taxiing 10 left via Charlie 1. Fort Lauderdale. It does sound nice, I will say that. Alright, so as we taxi out, we'll arm the speed brake. Auto brakes are set to max. Flaps are set. And we come off of that and TO config check.
Cabin is ready.
Takeoff memo no blue. Cabin is ready. To our, was in the right one. We can go to our departure. Oh yeah, the tiller. I forgot. Does make the steering a lot nicer. If you don't have tiller control, if you didn't know, the FENIX crew have implemented tiller with the rudder pedals. It disconnects the actual rudder in the aircraft, and I find it does make the ground steering a little bit easier. Dark, MetroAir is the code share airline. It's another virtual airline that has a code share agreement with Fly UK, so that the Fly UK guys can fly in the US. So for something different to fly in daylight today for all the flights, I decided that I would do the flights in the southern US out of Fort Lauderdale using the MetroAir. So it's I got the delivery came through my virtual airline. I also like the fact that the clock is not running when the aircraft is powered up, and the displays, the CRT displays, are all turned off. The way it should be. I mean, you shouldn't go into a cold and dark aircraft and have them all turned on. Couple aircraft sitting over there. Not sure where those little stutters in the sound are coming from. We'll go right to the end. We're going down to Charlie 1. And then we'll pull up to Bravo 1 and do our checks there. See the cloud cover. Slate fall. It is hurricane season down here, so it is a bit stormy. We'll come up right up to Bravo 1. This is Charlie 1. It's Bravo 1. Alright, so we are here. Pre-departure V speeds are checked. 141, 143, FCP, nav data, and radios are checked. Takeoff, nose light will go to takeoff, strobe lights will go on, runway turn-off lights on, landing lights on, transponder on, TCAS is TARA, and tilt above. Approach path is clear. Fort Lauderdale traffic, Metro 613 taking position, runway 10 left. Well, we'll hear what it sounds like when we take off. And we got that initial restriction of 5,000 feet for the first little bit until we get out from under Miami. Nicely painted blast protector there. I do got to recalibrate my joint, my throttles for in here. Just to try to, I don't have physical indents on the throttle pointer, but there are painted markings. So I'm going to try to see if I can line them up with the painted markings just as a visual reference. Alright, we are lined up. Coming to a stop. Let's see, no immediate traffic in the area. So, brakes are set, engines spooling to 40%. sound nice. Brakes released. Takeoff power. Band flex 61 degrees SRS and runway enabled. Knots. V1 rotate. Positive rate, gear up. Speed brake disarmed. Autopilot on. Hi, fly guy. Hear that wind. Thrust climb. I don't know what that clicking noise is. Through S-speed, flaps coming up. It's Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, I don't know what that sound is. Anybody? No, I don't have FS realistic. You think it's wind buffeting? Seems to have gone away. It sounded, it almost sounded too regular. We seem to be doing okay. We're kind of skimming the bottom of the clouds here, but we're going to be maintaining 5,000 feet. As you can see, we're doing the arc above Fort Lauderdale. We should be others, Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport. There's a lot of business jets fly out of there. Oh, fly guy, did you? Yeah, could be. Although we're not very turbulent. I don't know. Maybe Roger's coat's banging against the wall or something on a hook. So there's, like I said, Fort Lauderdale Executive, Fort Lauderdale International is down there, and we're going to stay below Miami, which is further down. So we're at 5,000 feet for a little bit. Until we get down to Gator. Oh, forgot the clock. Oh, something to forget. But we're on the RNAV departure. I can hear creaking noises back here. Maybe it's just an old airplane. Yeah, it probably is because we're low to the ground and it's a hot day, so we're getting a lot of thermal bumps and stuff. God, I love the way the sun reflects off the water in the channels like that. That is so realistic. Alright, well, we're en route to Gator. I still had one where I had the grainy clouds, which was not good. I mean, the clouds are looking fine now. There's where we just left from. Fort Lauderdale. Oop, there we are. As mentioned, we're heading down to Gator. Once we pass Gator, we'll begin our climb to cruise. I quickly tried the DLSS because my video card, even though it's only a 280 Super, it is an RTX card. And I did get about a 15 frames per second increase on a quick test. But I know Dark mentioned to hang off until the new graphics drivers are out, so I'm gonna wait. And then once they come out, I'll do another test. I'm still probably gonna be punching up to a 380 Ti card this fall, because I do need to get more hard drive space, because this sim is starting to chew it up with all the scenery and liveries and add-ons and all that stuff. Oh, Eastbirds. That's a lot of ribs. You go enjoy. Maybe we'll see you for another flight later today. Fly Guy, yeah, it could. I think there's a bunch of settings. You got to figure out how they work and what the best thing is. It's all part of experimenting, getting the right balance for your system. Alright, so everything is looking good. We're almost at Gator. See, we're out coming up for the Everglades now. If you've never been to the Florida Everglades, it's really something to see. Flat, swampy, a lot of water, like canals and little marshes and stuff. And yeah, gators, gators everywhere. Just driving on the Everglade Highway, which is, we're going to pass over it actually. Right in the heart of the Everglades. You gotta watch because the gators walk out from the side of the road right onto the road. So as I mentioned, our next flight will be about 2 hours after we land in Cancun. Give me a little bit of a chance to have lunch and get reset. And then we'll go live and we'll do the leg back. And we'll take another little break. And then we will head out again for the third leg down to Punta Cana. I went down and rented a bike in Fort Lauderdale, rode to Key West, and then I did the Everglades and then went up to Fort Myers on the west coast on the Gulf side. Yeah, it was pretty neat. Different landscape. Very flat down here in southern Florida. Which is why you could have these canals that almost cut right across the peninsula. But the run down to Key West is pretty cool as well. Alright, so we're almost up to Gator. Stop that. Almost up to Gator. And then I said we'll begin our climb. And then we've got a little bit of entertainment for when we get up to our cruise. And then we'll be ready to brief our arrival. Airfield out there. Four and a half miles from Gator. Yeah, the Keys are nice. Spent a few days in Key West and rode my bike down many years ago. Had to get a nice picture of it in front of the buoy there. It's the southernmost point in the United States. Yeah, different culture down there in the Keys. So it was great driving across the highway there, island hopping or key hopping all the way down. There's the highway below. That's the Everglade Highway. Where do we start climbing? Oh, that's where we start climbing. A couple people are doing their VATSim exams for controllers. Looks like one in the Ukraine at Kiev, and the other one, SMF approach. Not sure where that is. You can see the blurred, numbers, and then once I zoom in, you get the proper look. As you zoom out, you get to See it start to blurring. Halloween decorations? Yeah. Well, I'd rather see Halloween decorations Nerdbark now than Christmas decorations. Now I'm starting to see things on Christmas, which is annoying. And there's 10,000 feet. Alright, so landing lights will come off, turn off lights will come off, and seatbelt signs will come
We are now passing through 10,000 feet. You can now turn on your larger portable electronic devices. As a reminder, please keep your seatbelt fastened while you're seated and do not congregate in the galleys for near the lavatory.
I got a thing about Christmas decorations before November 11th.
The flight crew has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign. You can now get up and move about the cabin. However, we ask that you keep your seatbelt fastened when you use the case of unexpected burglary.
So accelerating up to our climb speed. That is PAX. That was just updated a little while ago. We flew the 737 into Agadir in Morocco, and it knew the airport. So looks like they've updated the airport names and everything. But yeah, I like PAX. It gives that nice background announcements, and I know technically you wouldn't be seeing or hearing anything in the cockpit for any announcements they do in the back, but you know, it's nice to have. Adds to the feel. Alright, so we're back up to 2,900 feet per minute climb. Yeah. There's the western coast. See how it's swampy and estuaries and ambiance. That's a good word. It does do that indeed. What we're going to see shortly, yeah, I can. You probably won't see it on the stream, but I'm just starting to make out the island chain in the Keys. So the weather in Cancun, still 30 degrees. We could be in for some thunderstorms there today. Scattered clouds at 1,500 feet. Only 7 miles of visibility. Winds are coming around though, 060 at 3 knots. Next update should be shortly. We'll see what it says. I wonder if they've got a pressure system moving past them and it's swinging the winds around. We'll see once we're up into cruise. Alright, so there's Glades. That's the point at the coast. We can see it down there. Oh. All that binging and banging and stuff is gone. I guess we're up in more stable air. Nice. Very nice. Well, yeah, Eastbirds, you're more than welcome. It's been a while since you've been with us. So there, we're through transition. We'll go to standard pressure, and unfortunately, we got to do it with all three. So there we go. So standard pressure is set and cross-checked. Be good to have you fly on the way back. And it's pretty good. There's no ETC up, so you don't got to worry too much about the stress of dealing with them if it stresses you out. Again, we're going up to flight level 380, and we're just passing flight level 200. And we get some of those engine sounds. Oh, there you can hear that hum from the N1 compressor. A little bit of cloud drifting by below us. Now the other view I have, because it is the FENIX, which is fully modeled cabin, is if you're in the aisle row. Fortunately, looks like MetroAir doesn't invest in an in-flight entertainment system in their aircraft. Be a good one to put the screen up there and watch it from this view, but then you wouldn't see anything passing by outside. And then we got that view up at the front. Alright, so I'm going to go put the kettle on and grab myself a cup of something. We'll put on a little bit of in-flight. And we're going to keep climbing up. I'm not expecting ATC to pop up, so we should be okay. So I'll be in the chat, but I am going to step out to the galley for a few minutes first, and we'll see you in the air.
take what I want and I want what I take. If we see any gold, we steal it away, robbing widows and orphans of pleasure. We fight with our faces, we after your lovers. And our fortune's made. I've got the truth that pays the golden age. We're going places. Oh, we take what we want and we want what we take, for we're pirates out looking for treasure. If we see any gold, we steal it away, robbing widows and orphans of pleasure.
starting our in-flight meal service. Please look in your seat back for our menu, and one of our crew members will stop by shortly for your order. If you would like to order additional menu items, please hit the flight attendant call button at any time, and we'll be over shortly.
we're gonna have to kill the in-flight entertainment there. We're about 80 miles from top of descent, so we got to start doing our planning and get everything sorted out for that. So first things first, weather. So let's jump back over here. We get an update on the arrival weather. Yeah, so winds have come around to 070, so we're going to change our approach. So we're now going to be landing on runway 12, and we're going to be using the ILS-1. Let's just see what all these approaches are. We're going to be using the ILS-3 approach into Cancun for runway 12 left. So let me just get this all set up in my Navigraph. That is going to change our arrival. So we're going to the NOSED 1 Bravo arrival. Basically takes us the other way out to the other runway. So I'm just getting my charts set up. Okay. Alright, so let's quickly run over here. We're going to change our flight plan, and our arrival is now going to be the ILS 3. Where'd it go? ILS 312 left, and it is the NOSED 1 Bravo, and we will insert that. And we're going to, everything is still looking good. So let's pop back down here. We're just going to quickly go through. So there's our top of descent. Again, the same type of initial approach down through Lettuce, Ampus, then UN 500. Then we make a right turn instead of a left turn, and we go to 522. Should be then 515. Dam, Rud rig, and then not that approach, but that one. We go Rud rig, and then it's not 604. Five 532, 529. So after Erdam Rudrig, oh, Eastbirds, thank you very much. All right, after Rudrig, we are going to UN 505. And after UN 505, it is then UN 528. Appreciate that, sir. And then it'll be UN 529. So we'll insert that, and then we're going to clear out 604. And then after should be 505, 518. We're gonna clear that one. Okay. Hey, how you doing? All right. So if we now quickly come up here, we got to do it quickly since we're running out of space. We can look. There's our approach as we come in to the runway. So that's all looking good. Alright, so we're about 40 miles out. So that information is good. We can now come down and do our eastwards. We're doing Spitfires on Wednesday. We're back in, we're going to go to Wales and do some Spitfire flying in the valleys. Alright, so let's get our information. So 2997 is the current. So 2997. Current temperature is 31 degrees. So we got to remember we can only go to flaps 1 after we retract on landing. Anymore, we risk damaging the hydraulic lines in the flaps due to compression of the fluid due to the higher temperature and expansion of said fluid. So air is 070 at 8 knots. Is good. Now we will come over to our new charts. First leg, Oki first. Sorry, I'm going quickly here because we're a little bit behind given the changes that we just had. That's not what I want. That's our alternate. Alright, so our arrival is now the 1 Bravo. And our approach is now ILS 312 left. So we'll take a look at that one. Get rid of that one. So our minimums are 250, and it is a barrel, and it's going to be a full flap landing. So that's all entered in now. Alright. Go back to here now. Let's see where we are. There's Cuba. So we're coming up for descent. So since it's RNAV and we're all the way down, we can go right to say 3,000 feet for our descent profile. So we're going to come over here, select 3,000 feet. There we go. Oh, excellent. Yeah, once we land in Cancun, we have a little bit of a break so I can get some lunch. And roughly 2 hours after landing in Cancun, we'll be starting up the next leg where we're flying Cancun back to Fort Lauderdale. And after we land in Fort Lauderdale, another 2 hours to reset. And then we're going to fly from Fort Lauderdale to Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic for our last flight of the day. Tomorrow, my plan is to do a couple short cargo flights out of Stansted in the 747. We're going to fly out and back. And if you missed what I announced in the stream last night, we have an announcement that our virtual airline has bought 737 freighters. We take delivery in October, so look forward to some delivery flights of the 737 freighter. And in November, we'll be starting 737 the cargo flights. So that should add a lot. All right. So if we look for our restrictions. See, we start hitting restrictions on the descent. No sat, flight level 220, yeah. flight level 220, then 200. We get all the restrictions all the way down, including 3,000 and stuff. So all the restrictions are good. We're okay there. And we are ready to begin our ascent. So, okay, Talia, hopefully we'll see you there. So, weather and arrival data is obtained and set. Nav data matches. We've now changed runways given the change in the weather on the other side at our landing. MCDU at approach page is complete. Radios are set. Wing and engine NTS not required. FCP is set. Altimeters is the next thing we are going to do. And our transition level is 19,500 feet. Alright, so down we go. Now in managed descent, we're on the descent path. Cancun area traffic, Metro 613, leaving flight level 380 for the NOSAT 1 Bravo arrival for the ILS runway 12 left. Alright, they're handing out customs forms in the back. So let's take a look and see what the traffic is like in Cancun. So we have one aircraft getting ready to go, 737-800. We have 3 inbounds, myself and 2 Tom Jets. One coming in from Manchester, the other one coming from EGGD. Not sure where GD is. Good? Not Goodwood. I don't know. And then somebody is filed from Dallas. But there doesn't seem to be much traffic in the area at the moment. We're just going to monitor our descent. It's rather steep. Now, I don't have to worry about speed brakes. Now, the engines are creeping up to the top end of the envelope, speed envelope. But the engines are not in idle, so they've got room to come back if they need to. Say goodbye to Cuba. And just starting to make out Mexico on the horizon. So if you have any questions about the aircraft, the FENIX flying the A320, let me know. I'm not an expert, but I do got some practical real-life flying experience and a lot of sim time. So I think I've passed 7,000 hours in this sim. And if you want to join in on these flights, they are all community flights, live streams, and you're welcome to join. Some like this are VATSim flights, others are multiplayer flights. Wednesday nights are generally multiplayer as we fly smaller GA aircraft. No, I didn't want to type Razine, I wanted to type Discord. So you join our Discord, all the flight information can be found there, including when we're flying and what we're flying. And you'll also find the links to the Discord in the chats, or in the descriptions for the videos, both on Twitch and on YouTube. But I like flying with other people, makes it more interesting. And we're doing good. So like I said, the last time I flew this after the latest FENIX aircraft update, I had a bit of a squirrely landing. And I'm not sure what caused it, so we're going to see what happens. on this one. Let's see how that landing goes. So we're not bad flight time wise. We're just under an hour and we're already descending down. Maintaining about 290 on our descent path. First restriction that will be coming up will be at no sat. I'm going to put the constraints on now. We have to be between flight level 220 and 200 at a speed of 280 knots. See, our speed indicator is indicating 280. We're not going to reach it at the moment, so I'm going to add a little bit of drag, get our speed down to 280. Because we're only 8 miles out from NOSAT. NOSAT is the entry into the arrival. The Mexican coast is coming into sight. I can see Cancun city. VOR is kicked over. Do a quick check on the RNAV. INCP 110.7. Course of 126 is correct. So that is all good. So next at Hacho, we have to be between flight level 200 and 18,000 feet. Because transition level is 19.5 and 250 knots. They just brought us back into our minimum envelope, 260. So the weather's pretty good. Basically said scattered clouds at 15. We'll see if there's an update. There is, but hasn't really changed much. 299.7 is still the... or it's now, what was 299.6 and 31 degrees still. So once again, hi Bluefin. I am sure there is a way I could check. Dark, you might know better how to do that. My technical skills at computers are lacking, so I'm sure if I pulled up like Task Manager and stuff like that, I could do a quick check. Let's see if I can do that. Funny enough, FENIX doesn't show there. It shows in background. So the gateway is using 1%, the systems is using 2.8%, and the display is using, well, it varies between 12 and 14%. So, hope that's what you were looking for. Starting to hear little bumps again. I think we're running into turbulence. Speed's going to pull back to 250 knots. I'm going to put on the train. Looks like a bit of a haze down here, hazy layer. What, for your displays? I'm running a high-end CPU. This is what I'm running. So I don't know how different yours is to mine. Come on, bot. Throw it up there. There we go. Bring that over to 40. The speed's 260. We're cleared ourselves down through, so we're going to manually enter in for all three. Barrel is set. Speed set to 250. Definitely cloud layer. Usually find the clouds over land. You can see we're now heading down towards Lettuce. Alright, so we're below 20,000 feet. We'll get the signs on. Get everyone secured. They should have cleaned up the cabin.
Ladies and gentlemen, the flight crew has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. Please return to your seats and fasten your seatbelt.
So if we look down, you can see we're going to be 1643. So, but 20 minutes we'll be on the ground according to that. So come on and make the announcement. Cabin crew, 20 minutes to landing. And plus we have to be below 14,000. There's no restrictions at Lettuce. You can see on the chart here 14,000, and then at UN 500, 220 knots and above 8,000 feet. That's reflected on the display since we have our constraints on. Oh, there's a manager? I just copied the file into my community like I did with Manchester and yeah, Manchester and Birmingham. I didn't even load in to see it. I wanted it to be a surprise. This could be a real surprise. Oops. Alright, we're down to 230 knots. Everything's looking good. And again, we're basically going to go like that and then down to the runway. So we're doing the box pattern here. Some airports have disappeared from your sim. Well, that's not good. Alright, so we got our basic plan there. We're going to bring up the airport diagram now. So again, we're landing here on 12 right. We'll probably be getting off at Alpha 3, or 12 left, Alpha 3, and we'll go over to Delta, taxi down to Delta, and come into Terminal 2. There's the coast. It's 14,000 feet. Well, we'll see if that load-in style works for me. Again, that's what I did with the other two. Well, it's an 8-knot wind, so we are going to feel it a little bit. It should be a quartering left crosswind. Eastwards, that's weird. Alright, we're going to come down to 20. We'll leave Roger at 40. Here's our deceleration point coming up. So no real traffic in the area, so we're okay with that. Yeah, and that's how I've updated the Macco stuff too. When every once in a while, I just go and grab new copies of the download, just copy them over. So we'll see what happens. Oh, looks like we got a little graphical glitch there. That's interesting because that's the airport. Huh. Let's see what happens here. Just gonna do a quick look at something. Yeah, there's no installer with it. It just says to load. See what happens. I'm taking some screenshots in case this does become an issue. I can send them off to Macco and see what they say. Oh, it's starting to feed in. It looks like an LOD issue. Oh, there's 10,000 feet. So they come on. Landing lights will come on.
Our final descent into
Taxi lights will come on.
Flight attendants will be passing
We'll ding the cabin.
one final time.
Everything is set. Yeah, she's starting to feed in now.
Carry on items either in the seat back pocket or under the seat button.
It's first time loading issue. Yeah, but Okie, the default ones suck. I mean, they look horrible. Gates are missing. You get those floating things. Look at the time with Eastbirds. Hey, Eastbirds, remember when we did the VATSim flight? We landed in Istanbul and there was no airport? Or I had a runway in the middle of a forest. You didn't even have that. And you saw me landing in the middle of the trees. That's strange. There's the airport. And there is our turn. Cancun area traffic. Metro 613 over the Uniform November 500 waypoint on the RNAV arrival for the ILS runway 12 left Cancun. mean, the only issue I have with a lot of custom airports is I would rather have one with less detail, but the taxiways are accurate, the gates are accurate, and all that stuff, and not have moving people inside drinking their Starbucks or Pret or whatever coffees and stuff. So sometimes I think they go overboard with some of the detailing, and it just kills like performance. There's the airport there. We're landing on this side. We're going to taxi down around the terminals and then back over. And it becomes a bit of a real pain.